don't fuck with Akabayashi. That's just straight up the moral of this episode. Don't do it. You will get wrecked. He will destroy you. He's too real. He's a straight up certified badass. Okay, that is what this episode of Durarara 10 establishes. Episode 3. The man straight up rips out his own eyeball. Okay? Like it's nothing. Like it's absolutely just feels no pain, expresses no pain, tosses it to the side, walks up to fucking Sayaka and confesses his feelings to this insane, from his perspective, this insane slasher that just tried to murder him. If that doesn't showcase how real this man is, I don't know what else you need, honestly. And this is key setup and it's necessary setup. I feel like a lot of anime onlys wouldn't expect, you know, an Akabayashi-centric episode. I mean, at the very most, they would expect, you know, an Awakusu Group kind of centered episode, which this kind of was, but it was mostly focused on establishing how fucking real Akabayashi is, and as well as giving us more insight and, you know, exposition into the depths of the history of Ikebukuro and certain relationships and everything like that. But let me just get how, because I've been anticipating this, and this episode was beast. It was done so well. Like, I haven't seen a Sayaka scene in a minute, dude, and it was just so, like, I forgot how warped and twisted Sayaka's love is, and just seeing that scene with Akabayashi is just like, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. He tears it out not to stop the curse, and mind you, this is the second person, only other person aside from Shizuo, to have been slashed by Sayaka and not be controlled and taken over and been cursed. If that doesn't, only other person besides my best boy, if that doesn't showcase how real this man is, I don't know what more you need. He does it not to stop the curse. He does it simply because the voice in his head was annoying the shit out of him and he wanted to confess his feelings to this fiend in front of him. Akabayashi's too real. Akabayashi's too real. We don't get much, you know, Aozaki exposition, nor do we see too much movement with the Awakusu Group. It's really surrounding Akabayashi and his past. And what that does for the series and the setup of the world of Ikebukuro is actually quite important. You see the kind of man that Akabayashi is. And this episode was great overall. Like the Sayaka scene, you know, the ending scenes, how they, you know, the dialogue and everything like that, it was adapted very well. The only problem I had with the episode overall was that first scene when they're in the bathroom and he was fucking with the kids and whatnot who were selling the drugs. The animation was just, it wasn't up to par, man. It was, like, the girls that were feeding in the background were just kind of shuffling their feet back and forth, and the man slashing with the knife, it just didn't look fluid. I was like, yo, Shuga, man, you're running a little dry right now. I feel you. But aside from that, the episode was quite well done, right? I just love Akabayashi's dialogue at the end of the episode, and I'll get back into everything in a second, but I just want to talk about it, dude, because it showcases how genuinely, you know, he cares about both Anri and Akane. And he's basically like, this random fool tries to stab him after what we've seen throughout the episode of him fucking people up left and right and not giving a shit. You know that this fool, this kid that's running up on him is gonna get murdered. Flips the man over with like 2 fingers, just grabbing the knife and everything, just flips him on his back, dog. And he's like, just, you know, Konogaki, just go home and play a video game or some shit. Like, he's like, kids these days, getting the daytime and the nighttime confused. And I just love that whole analogy. And he's just like, yo, like, I would prefer to keep Akane, you know, the little miss, and, you know, Anri away from the dark side of this crazy shit in Ikebukuro. But if they say they want to fuck around in the nighttime, who am I to stop them? And I'm just like, yo, Akabayashi is too real. He's too fucking real. I've been waiting for it. But this episode, it was good. I really want to get to next week's episode simply because I've been waiting for so long to see best boy meet waifu like that. And I'm hyped. Like, if you guys are Shizuo fanboys, like I am, like, Shizuo is my best boy for this series, you know you're hyped right now. You know you can't wait because after VORONA, after getting introduced to VORONA, you know it's going to be fucking awesome. But that's all I have to say about that. This episode, I love the progression. This episode does more than just, you know, kind of establish Akabayashi's presence, which is important going forward. It also gives us more insight into the workings of the Awakusu Group, which, you know, is good to have. And on top of that, we find out the true history of what actually took place with Anri's parents and why, you know, her father became abusive and everything like that. You find out this tie between Akabayashi and the Sonohara family and how, you know, he spared them that night after falling in love with, you know, Sayaka and everything like that. And he let his old boss die in his old Yakuza group simply because he saw him as the indirect cause of Sayaka's death because she killed, you know, her husband and herself because he became abusive, because this man was giving him, you know, these ridiculous, strange drugs. And you see, you know, Akabayashi's hatred towards drugs as a result of that, you know, whole ordeal. And if any of you have seen Kami-sama no Momochi, dude, doesn't this, the drug that's being sold in this episode, I believe it was like, what's it called, dude, Heaven Slave, doesn't it remind you of the angel fix from Kami-sama no Momochi? I was like, yo, it's just like so similar in my mind. But if you've seen the series, you guys know what I'm talking about. But more Durarara greatness. I love this series so much, like getting it finally adapted all the way through. Like, we're in for so much greatness, and next week it's about to kick, dude, my shit's about to go down. But really, what you need to take away, aside from the setup, you know, more Sayaka build-up, you know, giving us that exposition to you know, Akabayashi, you see his relationship with Akane, what Akane is doing currently since, you know, the first core and everything like that. But ultimately, it was a great episode. Just seeing, all you have to take away from this episode is Akabayashi is beast as fuck. Don't fuck with the man, okay? That's pretty much all I have for this review. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out. Peace.